It is my understanding that we are in this verdant valley in order to celebrate an initiative that is meant to improve our country's crop production in general and our vegetable production in particular. Specifically, today we will witness the handing over of two fully automated greenhouses to the government and people of St. Lucia. These structures were donated to the people of St. Lucia by the Mexican people through the Secretariat for Foreign Affairs. We are beholden to the government and people of Mexico for their extreme generosity. It is important to note that these greenhouses will not only be used for the production of vegetables, but also be a source for significant data that will help improve vegetable production throughout the country, thereby improving food security. The college has established a number of other projects that will work in tandem with the Greenhouse Initiative to improve food security. For example, in conjunction with the University of the West Indies, we have investigated varieties of sweet potato for early tuber production and yield. In addition, during the past year, we have been evaluating tomato varieties to assess their production and their resistance and tolerance to tomato yellow leaf curl virus. We are particularly heartened by the intentions that have been expressed to use these greenhouses as a means of training farmers and for informing extension officers. I believe that a deliberate interaction among good agronomy practices, information creation, and information sharing can make a significant contribution to our national effort to improve our food security. Our quest to alleviate hunger must be based on improving and in some cases discarding the farming methods which served our parents, our grandparents, and their parents. As a people, we must resist change when we have evidence that such change is or will be harmful to us and for those around us. As a people, we must be resilient. That is, we must cultivate and honor the capacity to bounce back and make after adverse changes. As a people, we must understand that our success can only be enhanced when we recognize, initiate, and encourage change that will be to our advantage. Mr. Chairman, these greenhouses provide us with an excellent opportunity to make use of the much vaunted information highway. For example, the Agricultural Extension Office or services, in conjunction with the college and an internet provider, can set up a webcam in the greenhouse that will allow farmers around the island and further afield to witness demonstrations of the various techniques and practices which can enhance production. That audience can also, of course, include students and researchers. To each of you who made the time to be here with us this morning, let me express our profound appreciation for that effort, and let me thank you for sharing this occasion with us. To one and all, bienvenidos, welcome, bienvenue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dolo, for your insightful and thought-provoking comments. We note particularly some of your innovative ideas towards the end of your delivery. I now invite Mr. Kervin Stevenson, who is the acting representative of ICA in the Eastern Caribbean states, to make a few remarks.
I think today is a very timely day, coming after yesterday, Thanksgiving. Today is a day that we should give thanks because we have come from a long road of institutional building at all levels to culminate in what we have now as a structure. But what we have to understand is, as Mr. Elvis explained, over 3 to 4 years ago, ICA did a study and we found out that the tunnels that were being used were totally ineffective in high temperatures. Most of the challenges that were explained by Mr. Elvis. And as a result of those challenges, we saw it necessary for introducing science and technology in agriculture. So that's why today is a very historical day in that we are doing things totally different, not only in just a structure, but in terms of the processes. As we saw, we have agreed protocols. So basically what we're using science and technology down to the design of the structure, how we use the structure, and as a result of using science and technology, we are expecting the yields to be improved by over 500%. That's what we are expecting, and that's what have been achieved so far. So today is a very historical day, and ICA is very pleased to be associated with such an event. And it couldn't have been possible without the collaboration of, first of all, the government of Mexico. And I think we really need to give applause to the government of Mexico. Because whereas we just see the structure, but the government of Mexico have provided training not only for the extension officers, whereby we have a cadre of extension officers within the Ministry of Agriculture with the capacity of greenhouse technology, but we also have some farmers, and we're going to have one of our main farmers give the vote of thanks, Mr. Filson, and we intend to continue that process, and that's why it's so important that the greenhouse is located at Sir Arthur College to ensure that the linkages with the youth. Because if we have an aging population of 60 years, fortunately that we have Mr. Filson as an aging farmer that is very willing to adopt new practices. But generally, we find that older farmers are more resistant to change. So if we're talking about using science and technology from the start, we talk about working with the youth. So that's why it's so timely that we have that infrastructure located at Sir Arthur. And I'd like to make a challenge to the ambassador and to the minister for us to pursue some form of scholarship as an incentive to the best practical student to pursue the training in greenhouse technology. Because yes, you're going to be exposed to the technology here, but you're going to need further exposure in terms of actually doing a degree, so you could come back and be the trainer of trainers and ensure that we not only have greenhouse structures being located around the island, but it's institutionalized, not only within the ministry, but we expect to have much further collaboration with CADI. We have CADI's presence here right now, the Taiwanese institutions, and other partners, because clearly ICA cannot do it alone. And that's why it's very important that we need to coordinate and ensure that we have all the partners on board. And we intend to continue the collaboration with the government of Mexico for continued training of our farmers and extension officers. And we even want to pursue further trainings with regards to organic production so that we could use less inputs imported and use more of our local materials. So clearly there's a lot of area for collaboration with Mexico. We look forward to continued collaboration with the ministry, because with the ministry is the one that we are officially handing over the structure to today. So we are hoping that we can continue to collaborate with the ministry, continue to help the ministry build capacity, not only in terms of providing training, but the necessary equipment. Because if you notice, based on the presentation that was given, we're talking about equipment for monitoring the temperature, equipment for monitoring the soil levels. We're talking about using science and technology in agriculture. And that's the only way we can move forward in terms of using the scarce resources that we have. So I must say that it is again a pleasure, and we look forward to the continued collaboration with, seeing that we have CFL present here right now. We hope that the collaboration with CFL and Sir Arthur and the farmers can be strengthened, because the expected increase in production going to have increased need for production scheduling. Because you don't want to have a set of tomatoes on the market and then farmers telling you, oh, yes, we have increased our production, we have increased our productivity, however, we cannot sell it. So that's why it's very important that we have the marketing agencies here presently right now, and the link has already been established between CFL and Sir Arthur. And what we are hoping as ICA, we can continue to strengthen that linkage between the CFL and Sir Arthur to ensure that not only we have increased productivity, but that increased productivity results in increased revenue that can result in Sir Arthur College getting some more monies so that the structures can be self-sustained. In other words, they wouldn't have to go to the Ministry of Agriculture and be asking for funds, for inputs, or for providing labor. And that's the intention, that based on the increased productivity, you can have enough money generated from the project so that the project can take care of itself. So we are very excited, and we are looking forward. And as I said, we are looking for not only collaboration with CARDI, but we're looking at the time when this mission can come on board, because they have been doing a number of interventions with demonstrations. And we think by working together, we can achieve much greater results by working together than working separately. So my last words would be that at the end of today, we are hoping that we can have improved coordination between the agencies, not only at the research level, but at the marketing level, and improve collaboration. Just watching a program on TV last night on the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, we need to have a link with the Youth Entrepreneurship Program with science and technology to ensure that the investments that the youth make in greenhouses, the results are achieved in a short space of time. And again, that's why we have SLAFI on board, to ensure that we have that collaboration with the youth, to ensure that we move forward, introducing science and technology, but promoting the involvement of youth participation in agriculture, so that at the end of the day, your results, you can drive around with the cars that businessmen drive around, because simple of the profits that can be derived from those interventions. So today is indeed a very good day, Mr. Chairman, and on behalf of ICA, we are looking forward for the collaboration, and we hope today is a very fruitful day and a historical day in moving science and technology in agriculture. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Okay, at this juncture, I would like to call on Mr. Greg Rollins, the Regional Coordinator of ICA, to present a few remarks.
As you're well aware, agriculture in the region is facing a number of major challenges, and one of the things we need to do is to seek new solutions to address the downward spiral in agricultural production. We have seen increased prevalence of pests and diseases affecting agricultural production. We've seen challenges in relation to low levels of productivity, low levels of production, lack of competitiveness. And we therefore hold up today protected agriculture and greenhouse agriculture as a potential option, not a panacea for all problems, but as a possible solution to reverse this downward trend in agricultural production. As indicated before, this controlled production system allows for greater year-round production. It allows for the more efficient utilization of chemicals. It facilitates better quality products and increased productivity, better control of pests and diseases, better scheduling of crops to take advantage of particular markets. And it can also assist with the lowering of labor costs, since the system is fully automated. In addition, the greenhouse technology is indeed something that can be attractive to young people, by virtue of the fact that many young people would like to see new approaches and adopt new technology as they go about their agricultural ventures. I'm therefore extremely pleased to know that training of agricultural technicians and farmers has been an important part of this exercise. We are aware of the fact that apart from the training that was conducted here in St. Lucia, technicians from St. Lucia and farmers also traveled to Cresiap in Mexico to receive training on both the theoretical and practical aspects of protected agriculture. So, ladies and gentlemen, the seeds have been sown through which we can now seek to reap rewards. As it is, the system offers much promise for overcoming many of the hurdles that plague traditional approaches to agriculture. We must be mindful, however, that it is not good enough to focus only on the technology of production, but equally important, we need to carefully examine the costs of production, the role of the business system, and the marketing opportunities that are available for the products that come out of these systems. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of ICA to thank and recognize the contribution of the government of Mexico for the significant technical and substantial financial support which has been provided in making this project a reality. We also want to recognize and thank the government of St. Lucia for the work that has been done in ensuring that we've reached where we are today. In particular, the work of the Ministry of Food Production, Fisheries and Rural Development, and in particular the Extension, Engineering and Research departments. We also want to recognize the Regional Center for Integrated Services in Protected Agriculture in Mexico, CRECIAP, the Mexican Embassy here in St. Lucia, the Contracting Company for Mexico, ASEA, and last but not least, the ICA offices in both Mexico and here in St. Lucia for their leadership roles in coordinating and implementing the project. And of course, we want to also recognize the two beneficiaries of the project, the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College and the Ebenezer Farm. I wish to assure you that ICA remains fully committed and supportive of this venture, and we will continue to do all we can do to sustain the project and seek to achieve success on a long-term basis. We are heartened by the expression of willingness and commitment of the government of Mexico to continue working with ICA to ensure that this greenhouse initiative can be recorded as a success story and indeed a model for development of agriculture not only in St. Lucia but in the wider Caribbean region. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you, and I do hope that this project will indeed rebound to the benefit of St. Lucia and the wider Caribbean as we move forward in adopting new and improved technologies to carry the agricultural sector forward as we seek to develop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rollins. I need to say no more. I now call on Mr. Juan Jose Salgado, the Chargé d'Affaires of the Mexican Embassy, to present a few words to us.
I'm going to repeat some of the issues that have been said already, but I feel the obligation to do that. But first of all, on behalf of the government and people of Mexico, it is an honor being here today as witness of a project that has demanded the effort and work of numerous persons and institutions. This project stands as a symbol of what international cooperation for development is capable of and represent the strength of the friendship between Mexico and St. Lucia. With the combined effort of Mexico, St. Lucia, and ICA, we have come to the official handover of these two state-of-the-art greenhouses structures totally built with Mexican technology. The one that right here at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College farm, and the second at Ebenezer Farm located at Roseau Valley. But this project is not only about the donation of the beautiful structure, it also comprises a training component that is fundamental to achieve the goal that ICA and our government set in this endeavor. It is the knowledge and technical skills which make this project an extraordinary cooperation activity. Capacity building was at the heart of this project since the beginning, hence the importance of the training sessions that were conducted in Mexico and in St. Lucia, 3 in each country with the support of Mexican specialists. 8 technicians and farmers from St. Lucia traveled to the state of Jalisco, and several specialists came here to share their knowledge and make stronger bonds with their counterparts, farmers, and technicians. For Mexico, this project has the component that we pursue in our international cooperation for development activities, building capacities, institutional strengthening, and it is in accordance with the Millennium Development Goals. We also are tackling several of the ends that Mexico pursues with its international cooperation for development policy. Efficient use of natural resources, training of human resources at all levels and in all fields, conserve the environment, and obtain sustainable productive development in goods and services. We know that this project will impact in several areas, one being the private and stable production of local vegetables that would lead to better marketing strategies for their producers. We hope more entrepreneurs feel encouraged to invest in protected agriculture technology since the knowledge and skill needed to take full advantage of these fully automated greenhouses structures are already here. The trainer's approach to build local capacities for this management of the greenhouses is the key for this. Also, the partnership with the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College is very important since agriculture science students will have the chance to gain experience with this technology and to learn the techniques which will improve productivity and consistent food production. This project can also be seen in the broader framework of Mexico and St. Lucia's effort to food security, the fight against climate change, and to boost clean energy. This initiative contributes to achieve our objectives in these important global issues, and we are also pleased to see the fruits of this effort this morning. I would like to acknowledge the commitment of all the holders in this project, the government of St. Lucia, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, the Eversner Farmers, COFUPRO, Alcia, the Mexican company that erected the structure, the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, and all the farmers and technicians that took part in this training session in St. Lucia and Mexico. Thank you all for your valuable work and contribution in this project. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mr. Salgado. Well, we've arrived at the moment when the feature remarks will be made by none other than the Honorable Moses Jabatis, who is the Minister for Agriculture, Food Production, Fisheries and Rural Development of St. Lucia. I invite the Honorable Minister.
This project, in my view, fits with the overall development objectives for agriculture of our government. This is also a very important development, not only for our government, but for the many professionals in agriculture over the years who have toiled day in and day out to see to it that better technology comes to agriculture. We firmly believe that given our small size and the very limited land resources, we believe that agriculture must become more and more science and technology based. As a result, our government has decided to concentrate on food security as the #1 and foremost objective of its term in office. Land and how you cause land to be available for agriculture. Research, to focus on the ministry itself to ensure that our ministry is able to deliver to our clients, and also rural modernization. Out of this, our government believes that we can sustain employment and create more employment through agriculture. We can cause there to be a nexus between health and agriculture, and also cause there to be a positive nexus between agriculture and education. These convictions have led us to use protected agriculture as part of our strategy for development, one with the potential to foster production and productivity increases in a sustainable manner. It is our view that protected agriculture presents a more attractive option to the young, and many speakers before me have said so. It is against this backdrop that it proved very easy, with the intercession of the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, to set up this bilateral agreement with the government of Mexico for the implementation of a pilot project for the advancement of greenhouse technology in St. Lucia. Upon validation, this pilot is expected to serve as a model to be replicated in the Eastern Caribbean. I wish at this stage to give thanks and recognition to those who started this process before me and before us. There are those who are not here with us today, whether they were from the Ministry of Agriculture or also in ICA, We wish to thank them for their contributions, whether they were at the level of management or at the level of staff. The selection of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College farm to participate in this project is, of course, easy to understand. Not only is the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College our premier tertiary level institution offering certificate and associate degree programs in general agriculture, the location of this farm lends itself well to public viewing and presents easy access, which facilitates technology transfer. In addition, the project presents a unique opportunity for young agricultural researchers of the college to meaningfully participate and contribute to the validation process. The selection of the college also means that post-validation of the greenhouse can be used as both a production and educational resource. Ebenezer Farms Incorporated was also selected. Ebenezer Farms is owned by Mr. Filson Joseph, as you've heard, a practicing farmer with over 20 years of experience, whose main focus has been and continues to be vegetable production. In addition, his farm too presents suitable conditions and easy access and lends itself well to public viewing. By design, the selection of these two farms has allowed us to incorporate youth, experience, and academia into the project. All projects in the implementation confront some challenges, and suffice it to say that this one has had more than its fair share. From delays at the start of implementation due to problems with scheduling, problems with temperature and humidity control, data collection issues, memoranda of understanding issues, interruption in the supply of water for irrigation, as well as the supply of electricity. All these and more have been presented, but we persevered. And this bears testimony to the will and desire of all who continue to participate in this project, the desire to succeed. Through all of these challenges, and as a result of the challenges, a body of technical knowledge has emerged that has equipped our technical staff with the capacity to install such greenhouses and manage future initiatives related to the use of the greenhouses in St. Lucia. That knowledge will also be extremely useful for the training of farmers, young farmers and older farmers who are desirous of adopting the technology. In fact, in the area of capacity building, this project registered a significant measure of success. 3 training sessions were conducted in Mexico, as you've heard. Technicians from the ministry, the participating farmer, and representatives from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College participated. In addition, you heard about the 12 farmers and 15 technicians who were trained locally by Mexican professors. The training focused on management and cultivation of crops in the greenhouse. At this stage, although it has been done before, I wish for us to give the people and government of Mexico another round of applause. We are optimistic about the future prospects of this project as the ongoing validation phase continues and its conclusion in December of next year. It is with this optimism that we take ownership of this project today, Your Excellency. It is an optimism born not out of fanciful imaginings, but rather from the core reality of where we've been and what we have to do to overcome to get to what we had to overcome to get to where we are today. That reality has engendered within us both optimism and the confidence that we are now prepared to take this project to its conclusion. I therefore look forward to the next few months and beyond in anticipation of the fruits of this project. In closing, I wish to commend the participating farms and farmers, the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, Ebenezer Farms Incorporated, for agreeing to participate and staying the course in the face of some very difficult challenges. I also wish to commend the officers of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Production, Fisheries and Rural Development, who have stuck to their task out of sheer commitment and determination to succeed, thus exhibiting the qualities that we want to see in every member of staff. I wish for us to give them a round of applause. I know many ordinary staff members in other areas would not undertake or accept or go through what the staff members on this project and the farmers went through. But thank God for you, and the people of St. Lucia, thank you. I wish to thank also the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, the Mexican government, their partnership in 2010 for making this project a reality, and with the hope that the lessons, the very serious lessons that were learned here, can be passed on to other countries in the region. And here I wish to make a very special mention of Dr. Kurt Dillis of ICA, who has worked tirelessly to ensure the success of this project. I wish to thank students who more and more are gravitating towards agriculture and food production and towards careers in fisheries. I wish to say to you children that you should not fear, that you should embrace food production and agriculture, because everywhere in the world, what the farmers knew all along and what the professionals in agriculture knew all along, governments all around the world are now going back to basics and saying to their population that that is what is going to help save our economies, that is what's going to help save our health, and you will not go wrong if you select agriculture, food production, and fisheries. I thank everybody who's here today, the media, part of our ministry, those people who are in the background, those people whom you don't see at this ceremony, who are probably so tired, who are resting because of all the work that they put into this. I thank them on behalf of the government and people of St. Lucia. I thank you, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
We have to say thank you. Even though it's been said before, Mr. Filson Joseph is going to now come to the podium to give the vote of thanks.
I have been given the enviable task of expressing our gratitude for this project as a country, and more specifically on behalf of the agricultural sector. I must inform you that I am also a direct beneficiary, so this gratitude is heartfelt and not just words from my mouth. The project has been long in coming, as you have heard, ladies and gentlemen, and the road, as has been said time and time before, has been long and very rough. But finally, it is here for all of us to see and experience. And this fills us with a sense of pride and accomplishment as a nation, as technicians, as farmers, as spectators. However, this project could only have been realized through the efforts of many. I want to thank the government and people of the Federal Republic of Mexico for providing us with the grant funding and the technical expertise to make this project a reality. As you've heard, without the significant donation from the government and people of Mexico, we would not have been where we are today. I also want to make specific mention to the Producers Foundation of Mexico, whose president has graciously joined us here today. Also the Secretary of the Foreign Affairs Relations in Mexico and the Embassy of Mexico here in St. Lucia. To the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture, ICA, its staff members, and the technicians. I also want to thank, in a very special way, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Production, Fisheries, and Rural Development. We say thank you for your efforts and your commitment to the project. We would like to single out the participation of the Extension staff, engineering, and research departments. And ladies and gentlemen, I know from experience what those gentlemen and the ladies went through. I have often said that the two people, the only thing they don't have at my home on the farm is the sleeping quarters and the pyjama. It shows the level of commitment that we've had from the ministry at all levels. I want to take time off and thank, although sad to say, they are not represented here this morning. We were expecting at least one person from CRESIAP to have been here. But I want to thank CRESIAP for their commitment in training the 3 groups that went up, 2 last year and 1 this year. And not only just the training, but the level of hospitality that we received from every member of staff, the grounds people, was phenomenal, and we want to thank them most graciously. I want to also take this opportunity to thank the Mexican farmers who invited us from last year to come back and do some training with them. And there are 3 of us who have taken that decision from last year that we are going to go back to Mexico in the coming year to do an extensive internship program and come back and contribute whatever we have learned to ensure that this project achieves and goes beyond its expected goals. I want to thank the company, ACAE, from Mexico, who provided the technical expertise for the construction of the 2 greenhouses, as well as our 2 local contractors and their support team who worked with ACAE. Also, I want to take this opportunity to thank the farmers and the farm workers here at the college for their commitment to brave the extreme heat. I know what they went through. We said about Ebenezer Farm, 48 degrees. Down here, from what I was told, it reached up to 51 degrees. And those people had to work under these extreme conditions. And I'm saying it's a miracle that no one suffered a heat stroke. Thank you to those workers. Now, a lot of thanks have been given to the institutions, to the persons who made this project a reality. But I want to go beyond that and to give special thanks to the master designer, the master planner, the master architect behind that project, the Lord God. Without him, we would not have been even here this morning. We owe our breath to God Almighty. And to him, I want to give thanks.
I'm sure we'd all agree that that was a rather stirring vote of thanks. I commend your faith, sir. And I invite all of us to the next item on the agenda, which is the cutting of the ribbon.
Nutrients that the plants need, and the microbes, those are the very small quantities, are calculated daily. They're applied in the pump house to the tanks, and they're sent in through the spaghetti drip lines